Good morning. Happy Thursday. So the chapter we're going to read today is chapter 7, Lemonade, Cookies, and Questions. So if you remember from chapter 6, where we left off, they were both going home to make a list of questions that they had for the pencil. So I'm downstairs in the basement today in Savannah's art slash room area. So while she's working on art, so you can see the theater sign in the background, and there's some other art things happening. So anyway, chapter 7, here we go. Ava meant to save the pencil to use with Sophia after school on Wednesday, but she didn't quite make it to the last bell. She pulled it out of her backpack twice during the day. First time was right before lunch. You don't have to go to the library again, do you? Sophia asked, balancing her lunch bag on her knee at her locker. Come eat with us in the cafeteria. I miss you. Sophia's gymnastic friends, Maya and Lucy, were already waiting for her down the hall. Let me check really fast, okay? Ava told Sophia. She headed towards the library, but then ducked into the girls' bathroom and took out the pencil. She didn't want to waste time finding paper, so she ripped a paper towel from the dispenser and wrote, What do Sophia's gymnastics friends think about me? Her hand was shaking as she finished the question mark. They don't know you very well, but they like you okay, the pencil said. Maya thinks you're really nice, but kind of quiet, and Lucy likes your sneakers with the bright green laces. Ava looked down at her orange basketball shoes and smiled. Last summer, her cousin, Shanika, had visited from New York City and taught her how to lace them this fancy way that looked like a ladder. Lucy thought that was cool, and Maya thought Ava was nice. So Ava went to lunch instead of sneaking off to the library. It went pretty well. The second time Ava pulled out the pencil was right after she finished running the mile in gym class. Mr. Avery asked her why she didn't try out for cross-country team and if she planned to do track in the spring. Ava told him she didn't know, but when she got to the locker room, she took out the pencil and wrote, Does Mr. Avery think I'm good at running track? Yes. The pencil sounded like it wanted to add a sarcastic obviously to that answer, but it refrained. Ava wrote, Who else is going to try out for the track team? But there was no answer, and then she remembered the whole dumb free will thing. She'd have to think more about track. After school, Sophia came home with Ava. Sophia wanted to get right to the fun questions, but Ava said they had to do some homework first, and they'd never get to it, or they'd never get to it. So they did their English vocabulary page and then asked the pencil where they could find goldenrod gals. It told them, and they snipped a bunch from stalks in the field behind the store. Then Sophia ate pizza with the Andersons. She and Ava were headed upstairs with the pencil when Ava's dad said, Everybody ready for family night? Wednesday was family night at Cedar Bay Nursing Home. Every Wednesday after dinner, attendants wheeled the residents down the long yellow hallway to meet with family members. Everybody sat in folding chairs, drank warmish, watered-down lemonade, and ate cookies while they waited for the 7 o'clock show. Usually some local church choir or little kids, ballet class, or high school string ensemble. Nobody talked much on family night. A few of the residents couldn't speak because they'd had strokes. Some, like Ava's grandpa, could talk, but were too sad or grumpy to say much. Others had dementia and didn't know what was going on around them. When the dementia people did talk, it didn't always make sense. Mr. Clemson, who was a firefighter a long time ago, worried about imaginary burning buildings. Get down, he'd hollered at Ava when she walked by during family night once. Stay low and head for the exit. Mrs. Grabowski, who had a stroke 2 years ago and couldn't talk at all, always wore a pale purple pantsuit and tapped her feet to the music. Her white sneakers were too clean ever to have seen the grass. Mr. Ames spent family night slapping his knee enthusiastically, though never quite in time with the music. Mrs. Raymond, who wore pastel sweatshirts with cuddly animals embroidered on the front, tipped her head back and forth to whatever song was playing. And Mrs. Yue sat perfectly still except for her mouth. She always looked like she was chewing, even though she never ate the cookies. The Snoozy Gang, that's what Ava and Sophia called the residents of the back row who nodded off as soon as the concert started, always woke up with a start at the end. Then there was Grandpa, who scowled under his pulled-down baseball hat and complained about the music if he had said anything at all. Mom never missed family night, but she never had much to say to Grandpa. They hadn't gotten along since Grandma Marian died. Ava's mom didn't talk about why, but her dad told her once that it had to do with Grandpa's lifestyle and choices. Ava didn't ask about it after that. She just went with Mom and everyone else to the nursing home on Wednesdays and ate the cookies. Family night wasn't negotiable, so Ava and Sophie put their pencil plans on hold and piled into the Andersons' minivan for the drive to Cedar Bay. "You brought it, right?" Sophia whispered to Ava once they got settled into the community room and the others had gone to check out the snack table. "Yep." Ava slipped the pencil and her legal pad out of her backpack. "I've got my list, but I was thinking," Sophia whispered, "we should find out if it can answer bigger questions." Ava frowned. "How big?" "Like important world things. Like..." Sophia grabbed a newspaper from one of the folding chairs and scanned the front page. "Ask about the election. Not who's going to win, but maybe, how the candidates are always looking for rotten things to say about one another. Ask it if Senator Tabayanowicz has ever broken the law." "Hey, my dad would love that question. He can't stand that guy." So I wrote, has the senator ever broken the law? Immediately the voice in her ear said, "Yes." "It says yes." "Oh my gosh," Sophia's eyes lit up. "Ask what he did, and when, and everything." Ava wrote, "When, where, and how did the senator, the one that's running for president, break the law?" "He sometimes drives in excess of speed limit," the voice said. Ava waited, but the pencil didn't say anything. She looked at Sophia. "He drives too fast." "That's it? Everybody drives too fast." Ava shrugged and looked up just in time to see her family coming back to the chairs. Emma was scowling down at her cookies. "Cookies look good, Sophia said, smiling. They're tiny, but I only got to take 2, she grumbled, "and call me by my real name." She pointed to her hello, "my name is Rapunzel tag." "Settle down, Rapunzel," Dad said, ruffling her hair. "Grandpa's coming." When the attendant wheeled Grandpa into the community room, Dad said, "Good to see you, Hank. You look terrific." Grandpa grunted. Then half a dozen Irish dancers showed up, wearing long-sleeved white shirts and plaid skirts and vests. They were sweating like crazy even before they started hopping and kicking. The music was so fast, Mrs. Raymond could hardly keep up with her head tipping. Mrs. Gabansky tapping feet looked as if they might carry her right out the door and down the street, but Grandpa never looked up from his hands. "They're terrific, aren't they, Hank?" Dad said, when they finished and everyone was clapping. He leaned over to Grandpa. "Did you like the music?" "No." No. Dad smiled and hummed part of the song, doing a little cheer dance. I thought it was pretty lively. Tiny, whiny garbage. That's not music. Grandpa kept looking down at his fingers, all wrapped together, as if he might find the real music there. Sophia got a sparkle in her eye and pulled her iPod out of her purse. Want to hear something better? Tell me you're not about to torture Grandpa with Katina D, Marcus smirked. Why not? So, I don't think that's a great idea, Ava said, but Sophia was already poking her earbuds into Grandpa's hairy ears. Grandpa swiped them away. Garbage, he grouched, and started babbling on about some old nightclub in Manhattan where they played real music and knew how to make decent whiskey sours, too. Then the nurse came and said it was time to go back to his room. Sophia looked at Ava. I'll pull different music. I'll put different music on there for next time. Maybe we can find something he likes. We'll see you next week, Hank, Mom said. She never called Grandpa Dad. In the past, Ava had always chalked that up to the way things were, but she found herself wondering about why they didn't get along. Now she had a way to find out. And the next chapter is chapter 8, Just Like Peter Pan. So I will post a question onto Google Classroom, and I would like you to create the document and in Docs, and then I'll be able to see it. So don't forget that on Friday at 10 o'clock we are going to have a Zoom for family time. So just that'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions about the work that you're doing and anything that you're confused with. Bye, guys.